Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now I will read the chapter 2 of a book from Mr. Doni. Okay, wait. Chapter 2, History of Computer. Let us take a look at the history of the computer that we know today. The very first calculation device used was the 10 finger of a man hand. This in fact is why today we still count in tens and multiples of 10. Then the abacus was invented, a bed frame in which the beds are moved from left to right. People went on using some form of abacus well into the 6th century, and it's still being used in some part of the world because it can be understood without knowing how to read. During the 7th and 18th centuries, many people tried to find easy ways of calculating. G. Napier, a Scotsman, devised a mechanical way of multiplying and dividing, which is how the modern slide rule works. Henry Briggs used Napier's ideas to produce logarithm table, which all mathematicians use today. Calculus, another branch of mathematics, was independently invented by both Sir Isaac Newton, an Englishman, and Leibniz, a German mathematician. The first calculating machine appeared in 1820 as the result of several people's experiments. This type of machine, which saved a great deal of time and reduced the possibility of making mistakes, depend on a series of 10-toothed gear wheels. In 1830, Charles Babbage, an Englishman, designed a machine that was called the analytical engine. This machine, which Babbage showed at the Paris exhibition in 1855, was an attempt to cut out the human being altogether, except from providing the machine with the necessary fact about the problem to be solved. He never finished this work, but many of his ideas were the basic of building today's computer. In 1930, the first analog computer was built by an American named Vannevar Bush. This device was used in World War II to help aim guns. Mark I, the name given to the first digital computer, was completed in 1944. The men responsible for this invention were Professor Howard Aiken and some people from IBM. This was the first machine that could figure out long lists of mathematical problems all at the all at a very fast rate. In 1946, two engineers at the University of Pennsylvania, G. Acker and G. Mauchly, built the first digital computer using part colored vacuum tubes. They named their new invention ENIAC. Another important advancement in computer came in 1947 when the John von Neumann developed the idea of keeping instructions for the computer inside the computer memory. The first generation of computer which used vacuum tubes came out in 1950. UNIVAC E is an example of this computer which could perform thousands of calculations per second. In 1960, the second generation of computer was developed, and this could perform work 10 times faster than their predecessor. The reason for this extra speed was the use of transistor instead of vacuum tubes. Second generation computer were smarter, faster, and more dependable than first generation computer. The third generation computer appeared on the market in 1965. This computer could do 1,000,000 calculations a second, which is 100 times as first generation computer. Unlike second generation computers, these are controlled by a thin integrated circuit and are consequently smaller and more dependable. Fourth generation computers have no arrival, and the integrated circuits that are being developed have been greatly reduced in size. This is due to microminiaturization, which means that the circuits are much smaller than before. As many as 1,000 tiny circuits now fit into a single chip. A chip is a square or rectangular piece of silicon, usually from 1 per 10 or 1 per 4 inch, upon which several layers of an integrated circuit are etched or imprinted, after which the circuit is encapsulated in plastic, ceramic, or metal. Fourth generation computers are 50 times faster than third generation computer and can complete approximately 1 1 million instructions per second. At the rate computer technologies is growing, today's computer may be obsolete by 1985 and most certainly by 1999. It has been said that if transport technology had developed as rapidly as computer technology, a trip across the Atlantic Ocean today will take a few seconds. Okay, see you next time.